Patreon.com/the Walk-Off Podcast. $4 a month gets you in there. All right. Welcome to January 27th, the Walk-Off Podcast. I'm Adam Mack, joined by friend of the show, Garth. Nice to see you. The sun is up. I'm usually seeing you in pure darkness behind you over there on the East
Yeah,
Coast.
yeah. It's different. Usually, I'm on at 6 Eastern. I'm on at noon Eastern. So yeah, there's
Here we go.
actual sunlight.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk to today. Some real news to discuss. Ronald Acuna Jr. incident down in Venezuela. We'll get to that. We're going to do some opening day lineup projections. Most of them, I think, are going to be pretty much obvious, but maybe two or three spots we can do some speculating on. Buck Martinez going to return to the booth in 2023. Pat DeHabler will not. We're going to talk Alejandro Kirk. We're going to talk make or break players for the 2023 season for the Toronto Blue Jays. And then we're going to end it the way most big leaguers dream of ending their career with the Hall of Fame. So let's get to it. Let's start with the opening day lineup. I'm going to just run through the outfield here. You stop me if I give you a name you disagree with. This is just the April 1st. Is it March 30th? When's opening day this year? I think it's March 30th. Opening day. We got Varsho in left field.
Yeah.
Kiermaier in center field.
Yeah.
George Springer in right. The new position for him. Third base, Matt Chapman.
Yeah.
Vladdy's taken first. Bichette's at shortstop.
Yeah.
Second base, I have some question marks. We'll get to that. Pitcher and catcher. These are my three positions. Second base, catcher, pitcher. Let's start with second base, because I think the catcher and pitcher is maybe a more interesting conversation. Who do you like for second base opening day?
Well, opening days, it's a special day. And to get an opening day start, it's like...
It's symbolic.
That's the guy that we think is going to play the majority of reps at that position. Doesn't matter. They're not going to be looking at like lefty righty platoon. They're not going to look at that. Like, it's opening day. And to get that opening day start means something. Espinal was an all-star last year. He's been with the Jays for quite a while. But honestly, I think it's going to go to Whit.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go to Whit. I think he's the guy that they're really counting on. Like he showed something in the last month of the season last year. I'm not a Whit Merrifield fan, so don't like start ripping me and because Espinal doesn't get the start. But I think he is the guy that the Jays are going to roll with, and I think opening day that they're going to put that stamp on it and say like this is going to be our dominant second baseman for the season.
I mean, I'm partially with you. I do think that if we're looking at games played at the second base position for the Blue Jays, I think Whit Merrifield is our guy. However, I do think opening day, I think Espinal is going to get it. I think it's a little bit of a nod to the season he had last year, the All-Star game. I don't know.
I mean, there's a long wait till spring training. I mean, Whit Merrifield could, get a oblique injury or like whatever. But I think the opening day roster, it's like these are our guys for this season. These are the guys that we want in there. These are the guys we expect to be our best players. And I don't know. I just got a feeling that like they lean towards Whit, and I think that will go a long way because there's still a ton of people that are on the fence about Whit, whether it was a good pickup or not. I think this is a way for the team to say like he's our second baseman, and I just have a feeling that that's the way they're going to go.
Well, with Whit Merrifield, there is a mutual option in his contract for next year. It's $18 million. He's going to get paid $6 million this year, 6 and change.
Yeah.
There's no way the Blue Jays pick up that $18 million option. Is there?
No. He's, I mean, unless he comes out and like puts up a 5-WAR season, which he probably not going to. They're not picking up 18 million. That's not to say that they can't come up with something a little better, like re-sign him to another 3-year deal. But I think for this season, for 2023, he's our guy.
There is if he has a good season,
yeah.
But if he's splitting time with Espinal, and if Espinal's also putting up good numbers, we talked with Jeff Blair about trades that could be made and Espinal maybe being moved. Is there any chance Merrifield could be moved? Do you think there's anybody who would be interested in a Whit Merrifield?
Well, there's teams that'll be interested, but I mean, like, what are we going to get back?
That's kind of how I feel too.
Like he's got a mutual option for next year, which like those don't mean anything. Like they literally don't mean anything. Like if either party can opt out of it, it's it doesn't mean anything.
So on a
but I think like Espinal
60 game rental, there's no value for anybody on a Whit Merrifield.
What are we going to get back? Yeah. Like, I mean, some low level prospect or some relief pitcher that isn't even as good as the guys that we already have. Like, I just don't. There's not a lot of huge trade value. So, I think if the Jays are looking at it like, okay, both of these guys are filling a similar role, we should probably, we could lose one of them and it wouldn't damage our team. Which guy could we get the most for? It's obviously Espinal. He's younger, he's still got some time under contract. I just I don't know. I just think that they're going to go with Whit this year. And I could see Espinal being one of those mid-season trade chips that, whatever we need going into July and August, he's a guy that could bring back something.
Yeah, fair enough. Definitely a better bullpen piece or whatever we're going to need. Comes with the Espinal package. Okay, let's talk catching position then. We saw the departure of Gabriel Moreno this offseason.
Yep.
Who's starting catcher opening day? Danny Jansen, Alejandro Kirk.
Kind of depends on who our starting pitcher is. Like, if we're going to roll with Manoah,
it's definitely Kirk. Right.
If we roll with Gausman, then it's probably going to be Jansen, and Kirk will DH. So, I mean, it kind of depends on the next question, whoever, who's our opening day pitcher.
So let's talk that then. Who's opening day pitcher?
I think it should be Manoah.
Yeah.
He's, I mean, apart from Vladdy, he is the heart and soul of this team. Like, you see him on days he's pitching, on days he's not pitching. He is engaged. He is a cheerleader. He wants to win more than anybody. And he is the guy that, could be with this organization for 10 seasons. I think this is the year that he puts his foot down and says, you know what, like, I'm the ace of the Toronto Blue Jays. Not, I don't want innings limits. I don't want to hear any of that shit. I'm the guy. I want the ball every fifth day. If I pitch 220 innings, I pitch 220 innings. I think 2023 is like the year that he, even though like he's already like placed high up in Cy Young voting, I think he's like, this is the year that he becomes like our ace. So I think it's probably going to be Manoah. So Kirk would be, our catcher, and Jano's probably going to DH that day. Or Belt.
Yeah, probably Belt.
Belt.
Probably Belt. I feel like they're going to want to show off the new toy a little bit too with Belt. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm with you there. I like Manoah on opening day. That was my pick as well. And Alejandro Kirk is the obvious catcher for Alek Manoah. So that makes sense there. Okay, so we've got an agreement. Manoah takes the mound, Kirk behind the plate. Nice thing with that too, if we do throw Espinal in there, we have a nice little. We have all of our all stars from last year.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not
Opening
saying
day.
Espinal can't be the opening day star. I just feel organizationally like opening days are for the guys that like this is a team that you're going to have to deal with for the next 6 months.